So, good morning, all. Welcome to the next class of Open Course. So, today I'm handling Module 3 Social Skills. In this chapter, we are going to learn about what is cooperation, what is group participation, what do you mean by team skills, leadership, and what do you mean by interpersonal skills. So, first we will see what this chapter is all about. So the social skill in Malayalam, it is called Samohiga Kazhugal. Social skills are the skills we use to communicate and interact with each other both verbally and non-verbally through gestures, body language, and our personal appearance. Human beings are sociable creatures and we have developed many ways to communicate our messages, thoughts, and feelings with others. So, social skills means simply that is we are communicating with other. That can be verbally or non-verbally. Non-verbally means verbally means normal as a talk. Non-verbally means through our gestures. Gestures means like actions. നമ്മുടെ ആംഗ്യം ഇല്ലേ അതാണ് what you mean by gestures, and also body language and our personal appearance. So normally this our human beings, we human beings are sociable creatures. They are friendly creatures because so they developed many way of communication. Like we'll give we communicate others as our messages, our thoughts, feelings, and with others. Okay. So here are the examples of social skills: cooperation, sharing, being a friend, accepting differences, listening, praising others, positive communication and interactions, being polite and courteous, using good manners, respecting ourselves and others, being respectful. So all this comes under social skills. Now, what are the characteristics of social skill? The first is social skills are goal directed. Goal directed means you can say like we are focusing on a task. Okay, goal direction means it make us to focus on task and the end result of those tasks. അതായത് നമുക്കൊരു ലക്ഷ്യം ഉണ്ടാവണം. That is social skills. What does it mean? Socially skilled behaviors are interrelated in the sense that one person may use more than one kind of behavior at the same time for the same goal. Okay, so the person who is having this socially skilled behavior, he normally um, his sense interrelated in the sense that one person may use one kind of behavior at the same time for the same goal. Then social skills should be appropriate to the situation of communication. Different social skills will be used for professional and personal communication. So the social skills which we are using, that will depends on the nature of that particular situation. Okay, so these social skills will definitely help us both professionally and personally also. Social skills can be identified as a certain types of behavior whereby an individual can be judged on how socially skilled they are. So social skills, if those person who having social skill is able to judge the the other person who is interacting with us also. Social skills can be taught, practiced, and learned. Social skills should be under the cognitive control. Cognitive control means it refers to the multiple mental abilities such as learning, thinking, reasoning, remembering, decision making, like that. Okay, so it should be under the cognitive control of the individual. Learning them involves learning when to use particular behavior as well as what behavior to use or how to use them. Next is cooperation. Simply, we can say cooperation is the first social skill we are going to learn. Simply, this cooperation means we can say it is a process of people working together to the same end or a same result. So here are a few definition about the cooperation. The cooperation is a form of social interaction wherein two or more persons work together to gain a common end. So that is a definition given by F.E. Merrill. And another definition by Fairchild is cooperation is the process by which the individuals or groups combine their effort in a more or less organized way for the attainment of common objective. And the another definition by A.W. Green, cooperation is the continuous and common endeavor of two or more persons to perform a task or to reach a goal that is commonly cherished. So these are the various definition about the cooperation. Simply cooperation is, we can say it is a process of people working together to the same end or results. Now there are two types of cooperation. One is direct cooperation and another is called indirect cooperation. So we will see what is direct cooperation. The task unable to be performed by an individual needs cooperation of other people. Because in direct cooperation, it is very important that we need the individual cooperation of the other person who is involved in the process. So that is what we call direct cooperation. So those things which are common to the people and they share in such things, that is called direct cooperation. So it is the cooperation in which the participants have a common interest. So in the direct cooperation, the participants should have a common interest. Example, playing, praying, studying, and working together in a farm or a road building and house building. So the person who is coming to direct communication with us, who is directly come in contact with us for a common task. So that is what we call direct cooperation. Now we will see what is indirect cooperation. People do unlike things for the achievement of similar goals. That is very important thing. Here, in direct cooperation, the participant who is involved in this process, he is a the both individuals are doing different things for the achievement of similar goals. So division of labor and specialization in a complex society create impersonality in human behavior, and the people of one category cooperate with the people of other category. In this way, labor and material products are exchanged to the satisfaction of mutual needs, and this process involves cooperation among people. For example, the owners of a mill and the workers cooperate with one another. The owners of the mill, he's involving in different type of work, and the workers on the same mill, they are supposed to do the different work. Okay, so the work doing between the owner and workers is different, but their goal is same. So that is the difference between the direct and indirect cooperation. Now next social skill is group participation. Simply, group participation means it's a participation by all members of a group. So we can define group participation as it is a method of social participation which help individual to enhance their social functioning through purposeful group experience and to cope more effectively with their personal, group and community problems. So here are a few characteristics of the group participation. So this group participation, it helps to break the complex task into parts and steps. For example, now you are studying in a fifth semester, right? So in the you may have a final project to do. So that is a group project. So in the group project, you are all working together, but for individuals, there are different jobs are there. Different peoples are doing different jobs, is it? So that is a typical example for the group participation. So by seeing that thing in your mind, just listen what I'm saying in the coming points. So first, the group participation that helps to break complex tasks into parts and steps, and it helps to plan and manage time. It helps to refine understanding through discussions and explanations. So if any problem comes, we will be discuss those problem in different perceptives, and we will understand, we will refine that problem, we will get a detailed explanation about that problem. Also, this group participation, it give and receive a feedback on performance, is it? So we are watching others also. So we can a mutual feedback can be given by can be a mutual mutual feedback that can be given in between these individuals. Then challenge assumptions. Challenge assumptions means it's a problem solving strategy that involves testing ideas that are assumed to be true. ജസ്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് ഇത് ശരിയായിരിക്കും എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ചില ചലഞ്ചസ് ആണ് വാട്ട് യു മീൻ ബൈ ദ ചലഞ്ച് അസംഷൻസ്. ഓക്കെ, ദെൻ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഈസ് ഡെവലപ്പ് എ സ്ട്രോങ്ങർ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ സ്കിൽസ്. ഇൻ എ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ആക്ച്വലി നമ്മൾ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ വി ആർ ഹാവിങ് എ സ്ട്രോങ് കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ സ്കിൽസ് അല്ലെ. ഗ്രൂപ്പിന്റെ ഒരു എയിം, ഒരു കോമൺ ഗോൾ അവിടെ ഉണ്ടാവും അല്ലെ. അപ്പൊ അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും നമ്മളൊരു നല്ല കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും. Okay, so these are the different characteristics of a group participation. Now, what are the skills that specific to collaborative efforts? Collaborative efforts means that is a big job is divided into small in a very little time. So that is what you mean by the collaborative efforts. So here are the skills which we will get through this group participation. So the first one is we are able to tackle more complex problems than they could on their own. Then we are able to delegate roles and responsibility. In particular group, you have a particular role and responsibility. So we are able to delegate it, and we can share diverse perspectives. So each individual in the group have different perspectives. So we are able to share that. Then we are able to pool knowledge and skills. So we will listen others for their ideas and for their we are able to share the knowledge and the skills that we have, and also hold one another accountable, receive social support and encouragement to take risks, and it helps to develop new approaches to resolving differences. It establish a shared identity with other group members, then find effective peers to emulate. Emulate means imitate. Then develop their own voice and perspectives in relation to peers. Peers means in the same group. Okay, so that's all the different skills that we get for the collaborative efforts. Now we will see what are the benefits of group participation. The benefits are it helps for the personality development, and that is done that is we accomplish through the interaction with different people. It also helpful in decision making, and new ideas will flow through the group participation. Then workload will be distributed among members, and it also promotes democracy. These are the various benefits of group participation. So next social skill is team skills. Teamwork skills. They are the qualities and abilities that allow you to work well with others during conversations, projects, meetings, or other collaborations. So having teamwork skill is dependent on your ability to communicate well, actively listen, and be responsible and honest. The better you work with others, the more successful your team will be in achieving their goals. So here are some few examples comes under team skills: communication, responsibility, honesty, active listening, empathy, collaboration, awareness. So these are the various team skills we require when we are into teamwork. Now we will see what is leadership. A simple definition about leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal. സോ നമുക്ക് തന്നെ ആക്ച്വലി നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു പിയർ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ തന്നെ എല്ലാ ക്ലാസ്സിലും എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാവുമായിരിക്കും ഇല്ലേ. അപ്പൊ അതിൽ ആ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ മേ ബി ഒരാൾക്കൊരു ചെറിയ ലീഡർഷിപ്പ് ഇമേജ് ഉള്ള ഒരാളുണ്ടാവും. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ജസ്റ്റ് അങ്ങനെ ഒരാളെ മനസ്സിൽ കണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ലീഡറിന്റെ മനസ്സിൽ കണ്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് യു ജസ്റ്റ് ലിസൺ ടു ദ class. Then leadership is all about developing people and helping others reach their full potential. It's about equipping others with the right tools and strategies to not only maximize the success of an organization but also the lives of individuals. So leadership is a very important because the leadership quality that is always helps the people for developing and also um, help them to reach their full potential. So the leader will make others to use the right tools and strategies to achieve their goal. Now, what are the characteristics of a leadership? It is an interpersonal process in which a manager is into influencing and guiding workers towards attainment of goals. It denotes a few qualities to be present in a person, which include intelligence, maturity, and personality. So, the leader should have such qualities like intelligence, maturity, and personality. So, it is a group process. It involves two or more people interacting with each other. A leader is involved in shaping and molding the behavior of the group towards accomplishment of organizational goals. Leadership is situation bound. There is no best style of leadership. It all depends upon how you tackle the situation. So that's all about the characteristics of a leadership. Now here are the important qualities of a good leader. This is also very important. So we will see what are the important qualities. Courage. A leader should have courage. He should have a mind of creativity. Should be loyal to all his members and family. He should be honesty. He should have self-regulation. He should have the quality of forgiveness. He should have the quality of compassion. He should be intelligent. He should have a good determination. And also, of course, he should be humor. He should have a humor mind also. He should keep a fairness and generosity. So these are the very important qualities of a good leader. I'll be giving a detailed note about the important qualities of good leader because this is a very important part and they may ask for you in exam also. So please learn this part seriously. Now the last social skill is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal means a communication take place between the two people. Interpersonal skills are the life skills we use every day to communicate and interact with other people, both individually and in groups. People who have worked on developing strong interpersonal skills are usually more successful in both their professional and personal life, because this interpersonal skill is very important when you get a job, when you face a job interview also. So interpersonal skills means it is a skills that is used to communicate and interact with other people, both individually and in groups. Now we will see what are the few examples come under this skill. An active listening, a teamwork, reasonability, dependability, leadership, motivation, flexibility, patience, empathy. So these are the few interpersonal skills. Now we will learn about the types of interpersonal skill needed. So in verbal communication means what we say and how we say it. So that is what you mean by the verbal communication. Now non-verbal communication, what we communicated without words, body language. That is an example for the non-verbal communication. Now listening skills, how we interpret both the verbal and non-verbal messages sent by others. So listening is a very important thing. Negotiation, working with others to find a mutually agreeable outcome. So we need some adjustments when you are in when you are in when you are committed in a work. We need some mutual understandings. Okay, then only our work will go forward. Problem solving, working with others to identify, define, and solving problem. So that is also another important skill we need. Then decision making, exploring and analyzing options to make a sound decisions. So during the emergency conditions, so we should have a courage to take a decision. Okay. Next is assertiveness, communicating our values, ideas, belief, opinions, needs, and wants freely. So all these are the types of interpersonal skills we needed. Now, what are the advantages of interpersonal skill? Interpersonal skill, it is the ability to interact with people through effective listening and communication. It is important for students to have interpersonal skills because it helps them connect with the people and benefits their personality development too. So this interpersonal skill is a very important for our personality development also. So here are the few advantages. It helps you to build a strong connection with others. If you are good with the interpersonal skills, you are capable of building a long lasting relationship or friendship with others. It is also a face to face conversation. So this interpersonal skill, it is also considered as a face to face conversation. So that gives you a better chance of improved interaction. In other words, it helps you to understand, maintain the person better. So the interpersonal skill also helps you to convince others well. So interpersonal skill is a very important in one's life because it will helps you both in professional and personal life. So that's all of this chapter. So today I'm winding up our class here. If you have any doubts, you can post it in the comment box, or you can ask directly